like so many different connections in First Global, it was through her that Zimbabwe found us, even though she is, in fact, herself the mentor of Team Cameroon. So again, establishing some of those global connections and how connected we truly are in terms of this overall community.
And teamed up with Team Zimbabwe, we have Team St. Kitts and Nevis and Slovenia on Team Aqua. And on Team Hydro, we have Turkey, Portugal, and Team Hope, which is our refugee team here at First Global.
Making their first appearance of the competition here. You could hear the crowd cheering them on as they first made their entrance onto this grandest, again, of international stages. We've got a couple of teams right now that are in the middle of that pitch. You see Slovenia, that's looking on the left side of your screen, stalled out a little bit with about a minute and a half left to go. We're 1 minute underway here in terms of, again, this last first round game of the 6 that we are going to be playing here.
And right there you can take a look at them jockeying for those balls as they try to grab all the blue balls in order to gain those points.
One thing to note about all these different robots, despite their different designs, is the fact that the kits that these teams were given are the only items that they could use to construct this robot. So regardless of what they were given initially, that's all they could have. So people are cheering on Team Hope, if you couldn't tell. And they are Syrian refugees that ended up working their way to Lebanon. And now with us in Washington, D.C., it truly is a testament to the human spirit and what we are capable of doing. You see right now,
you can see up on that hill we have Team...
I think that is Team Hope that's working their way up there right now on the bridge.
Trying to drop off those yellow, orange, reddish balls in order to get more points per ball.
And now they exchange out for Team Turkey, who's trying to make their way up there. Unfortunately, teammates getting in the way of one another. Hopefully, Turkey can make their way up, get some much-needed points as they're down 15-4, 16-4 with the last 20 seconds left to go in this first round of play.
You can see one team on Team Hydro getting ready to hang. I believe that is Team Portugal, getting that bar up over and pulling themselves up. Over on Team Aqua, we can see Team Zimbabwe also pulling themselves in the air, and you can hear the crowd cheering them on.
Great job for Portugal trying to boost their team score in those last couple of seconds, giving them what looks like the lead, 25-20, but we'll see when these final scores come in.
And so as the scores come up, we can take a look, and congratulations to Team Aqua for winning that one 60-25.
And that closes out the first round, but we want to make sure we're getting out into the hallways, focusing on Team Ireland now.
Now, I know a lot of the country's flags that we see here represented have a moon and a star and some semblance on it, but you can also see even symbolically what these teams are shooting for. They are shooting for the stars by being here at this competition.
And the Petrol in Luxembourg on Aqua, and they're up against Chinese Taipei, Malawi, and Argentina on Team Hydra.
A couple of tidbits in terms of Turkey and what they've been doing with water access, one of the 14 grand challenges from NAE from 1993 to 2005. So in that short 12-year span, the capital and largest city in Turkey of Istanbul increased the amount of wastewater treated from an astonishing 9% at its low.
And as we sort of get into the middle part of this match, we have one team that appeared to be up on the top looking to get those contaminant particles up, but it looks like they might have had a slight connection issue that hopefully they can fix. Down sort of in the trench of the river, we have Argentina, it looks like, attempting to grab some of those blue balls, as well as Luxembourg and Turkey.
In terms of this team from Turkey, again, they come from the country's southeast, and though 100% of their land back home has access to an improved water source, it doesn't mean that they don't believe in making a difference elsewhere, which is in perfect alignment with this round's theme of reaching out to others. Again, global reach being the theme of this round.
And right there you can see Slim Robot actually almost climbing the wall, trying to grab as many of those balls as they possibly can out of the Argentina directly in front of you.
When you talked about those wheels that were mentioned earlier on, those traditional wheels, we just saw on the front of Argentina's bot, those three wheels.
Balls, either in a shooter mechanism or sort of as a way to push them in towards whoever they're containing them.
So right now, Hydro is making it look like easy work, but of course the second I say that, Aqua climbs into the lead, so keeping me on my toes here in the commentating booth right now. It's a 4-point game as we hit the last 5 seconds of competition. We're going to see how this finishes up in a sec.
And as you can see, Aqua has 3 robots up successfully in the air, and it looks like Hydro is 2-team Hydro taking the win 114 to...
These students come to us from the National University of Lao and are eager to build off their success from the first 2 rounds. 6 team members and 6 rounds to prove a point. Let's see what they can do here in this game.
You can see that on the Aqua Alliance, they are teamed up with St. Lucia and Turkey, and they're going up against Italy, Moldova, and Venezuela on the Hydro Alliance.
So in terms of the 2 minutes that we've got left to go in this game, even though the score is 0-0, Italy, Moldova, and Vanuatu are looking to make a statement here. Hydro, in terms of that alliance, has not been winning too many games as of late, even though, again, those 2 alliances shift every single game. You see Italy, very concerted effort in terms of trying to look through those barriers and bars, trying to guide their robot to earning them points in this game. They're up to a 5-0 lead right now.
And even driving the robot at sometimes can be a challenge, because even though you've built it, you're sort of far away, you have things in your way, there might be another robot preventing your vision. And so it takes a lot of coordination on the drive team in order to get the robot to do the exact movements that you want it to do and that you've practiced it doing.
Well, in all honesty, I've been trying to refuse to make this corny joke until now, but of course it's a perfect segue to it. It's almost like trying to navigate DC traffic. It's just miserable 2 different times of the day in terms of the commute, both in and out of town, and these robots are also navigating some pretty tight space again, even though this field is traditionally a little bit bigger than some others that First has. Now, if you look right now at Turkey's robot, we're going to stay highlighted on that, and in terms of getting the telestrator up and running, if we can get a front view of it, I know it's tough because they're still moving around, but the very front of that robot is actually struggling in terms of those front elastic bands. We have that circular spinner that we're highlighting right now that actually has a broken band, which makes it kind of tough. And as we clear the telestrator, we might be able to get a front view of it. They're still trying their best to make sure that they're putting their best foot forward and still using that mechanism.
And that broken band on their drum spinner is going to make it hard for them to gather balls, but not impossible. So we'll have to see how they're able to overcome that challenge in this round as we hit the last 30 seconds of competition.
Penalties for both teams. Again, it shows you the fine line between success and failure here in terms of a 2-point spread. If you just didn't have one of those penalties, again, it's a 5-point swing. It would have been anyone's game at this point. Right now, it's still anyone's game in the last 20 seconds.
And over there, we can see Laos getting their hanging arm, and they're having a little bit of a collision with one of their teammates as St. Lucia is attempting to get up on the ramp for 5 extra points as we hit the last 10 seconds as Laos successfully lifted its robot into the air.
So we'll see if they decide to stay on the bridge. Very good. They might try to earn those 5 extra points, see if they can dump off any of those particles. Very good job by them. Let's see if that last one counted beyond the buzzer beater.
And we'll have the final scores up for you in a moment, and we can see how these teams did. An 88-85, an insanely tight match. Team Aqua is the winner with Laos, St. Lucia, and Turkey.
After that scintillating matchup, we're going to take you out into the hallways where Botswana is waiting for us with a pit interview. Let's take it away.
All right, everyone, this is...
And so we've already seen the little feature video about Lebanon, but a little bit more information about them. Their little mascot that you saw in that video happens to be one of the Student Technology Club, or STC, which was first established in 2014 at Rafiki Harry High School. These Lebanese have long churned out some brilliant inventors and engineers, and funnily enough, gave the timing of my Apollo reference a short while ago. One of them happened to be Edgar Kohui, who was able to develop a new methods of spacecraft propulsion after discovering plasma instabilities. And we can see right now all the teams are scrambling to gather some balls. It looks like Lebanon themselves have a ton and are heading over to drop those off, while other teams in the middle are trying to grab more. Up on the top, we can see, I believe that is Cabo Verde attempting to push, oh no, sorry, excuse me, that is the Congo attempting to push some of the balls into the top right there in order to get those extra points.
As we get this telestrator up and running, just pointing out a few other parts of this very central and lower third for you, so those of you who are tuning in at home or online abroad can pay attention to some of the specifics in this game. We've got in the middle of this, right beneath the clock, you see that white bar that hopefully is starting to punch itself
itself up with yellow. That is a signifier for the yellow contaminant balls that are getting pushed into the team's respective labs. Once 10 of those bars have been filled, the flow of those contaminant particles out of the river, if we can zoom out, will stop flowing. But teams can also get a cooperation bonus if they get all of those different orange particles out of this riverbed towards the end of the game. It's been quite difficult. We have not yet seen an alliance complete it, let alone one single game. We're going to clear that telestrator for you right now.
And hopefully they'll be able to show some cooperation as we compete here. The word's been thrown around a lot, but what it means is that you both compete like crazy, but also are willing to help out each other in terms of helping teams if they have a problem, or as we can see right here, if they happen to be stuck together. We have Lebanon and the Democratic Republic of the Congo actually hooked by that wire that we just saw snap right there. And that can really kind of hold you back as you're trying to get those balls dropped into where you need them.
As these teams are practicing in their respective home countries, or they actually can sometimes practice as groups. We had mentioned it on a couple of occasions yesterday. You wonder if any of that carnage has ensued when those practice sessions have taken place. You're seeing another one happen right now. If you go back to that last shot in the top right corner of your screen, we just saw those elastic bands getting stuck between two more teams on the same alliance this time.
And we can see right there that Cabo Verde successfully made it into the air, as well as I believe that is Lebanon. And one is parked on the bridge for an additional 5 points. We'll get the final scores up for you here in one moment. And with a tight race, congratulations to Team Hydro. That will be Brunei, the Congo, and Turkey, winning that with 60 points to 50.
It gives you goosebumps as they finish up that video, saying, what else could you ask for? It's the first time that St. Kitts has participated in any robotics event. Their GSC supporting team is the Rockettes that come out of Oklahoma. And Dr. Neal, their mentor, is the author of the first IT textbook published in the Caribbean. Quite an accomplishment, but also quite an accomplishment being here on this international stage representing their country of St. Kitts and Nevis.
And you can see that St. Kitts and Nevis is currently teamed up with Afghanistan and South Korea on the Hydro Alliance, and they're up against Oceania, Turkey, and Lebanon on the Aqua Alliance.
As we get that telestrator up and running for you, it looks like that Aqua Alliance is off to a really good start with all of the clear water particles as well as the sorting that's happening in that robot that we're highlighting right now. We're trying to find out what country it is. They've only got that blue flag, so we don't know who it's going to signify. But in the meantime, we've also got these 3 robots on the left side of our screen for that Hydro Alliance as well. Korea is looking like it's making quite a move in terms of trying to get up and around this bridge over and trying to dump some of those contaminated particles for 4 points apiece. Now, right now, we only see one contaminant ball that is in the middle of that river. If we zoomed back out, we would have seen it, but we also want to focus on the energy that some of these teams are bringing into the competition, including those fantastic and multicolored clown rainbow wigs from that team on the edge.
Yep, Lebanon is definitely showing their spirit with those rainbow wigs, and right now you can see them as they were right on the screen. They were also having the entire audience join them in clapping before this round began, so they're really bringing the energy here. If we zoom out a little bit, we just saw Team Oceania perfectly organizing all of those balls, and they were going to go drop those off. As you can see, that probably just happened as the Team Aqua score rises greatly, and you can see South Korea trying to do the same as they try to push those orange balls down that tube, as you can see right there, to add to their score.
As we clear that telestrator off, you can see St. Kitts and Nevis pumping towards their corner to put some of those balls into the water reserve. Right now, it's using its tires as battering rams, trying to push and funnel some of those water particles in there, getting some extra points. They got a 10-point lead right now with 30 seconds to go. Both of these alliances have finished their 10 contaminants in the lab, which means that they're going to stop flowing. And in the last 20 seconds, we're going to see if they try to clear the river for 15 points or whether they all try to go for those hanging bar points. That'd be 60 if they can get a triple hang.
Yep, as we've mentioned, each robot successfully hanging in the air is 20 points, and each robot successfully parked on the bridge is going to be 5. As we see, we have two robots on the Hydro Alliance already in the air, and it looks like the other one is trying to get up but might be having a connection issue, as we mentioned. As we get to the end of the game, we'll bring the score up for you in 1 second. And congratulations to Team Aqua winning that one 110-84. That would be Oceania, Turkey, and Lebanon with those crazy wigs.
Now, we have seen on a few occasions here, this country has literally traveled across the globe to be here with us today. They come from the Te Matauranga School in Auckland, and I was fortunate enough this past summer to actually go to New Zealand. I unfortunately was in the South Island, didn't get to the North Island, but had a tremendous experience over there. It is an unbelievably beautiful country. If you have the opportunity to go, highly suggest it.
And we can see Team New Zealand teamed up with Lesotho and Montenegro on the Aqua Alliance for this final round, up against Turkey, Namibia, and Armenia on the Hydro Alliance.
New Zealand very much values its water with respect to the 14 Grand Challenges and water access that this game is so heavily featured on. Only 2% of fresh water in New Zealand is used for drinking. The rest is used for hydroelectricity generation and irrigation. There are over 800 water quality inspecting sites there, and a third of their country is protected national park, including the world-famous Mount Cook, or Mount Aoraki, as it's named in their language of Maori.
Right there, we can see Team New Zealand getting into the thick of it, trying to grab a couple of those balls if they can. Kind of being pushed out of the way, though, by Turkey, but hopefully they'll be able to reach in now that Turkey has moved away. We also have seen Montenegro sorting the balls, able to get them exactly where they need to go.
Now we're going to get this telestrator up and running for you in 1 second. As you look right now at Team Armenia, and it's focused on them as it should be. They've got 1, 2, we can get back to Armenia if possible. It looked like they had probably 5 or 6 of those orange balls that are there as those contaminants, so they're going to try to make their way up the bridge and around this corner, try to dump it in that lab to get the 4 points for each of those 5 or 6 that they have up in there. As they do it, you're going to see the scores start to get skewed in their side. They're down right now 37-20, but something tells me that that dump that you just saw as we cleared the telestrator is going to change that up pretty quick. Now it's 37-32. They've got a couple more in there that they decide to try to empty the tank.
And you can see Team Hydro score rise all the way up to 47 due to those balls that Armenia was able to drop. And over there we can see Turkey dealing with the fresh water, trying to push as many of those blue balls as they possibly can into that side bowl.
So right now, both of these teams have unloaded 10 of those contaminant balls into the lab, which means that they're going to stop flowing. There are still some that are in that river. If they can clear it, they'll get the cooperation bonus. But with 20 seconds left, all of them are making that scatter to those side bars, seeing if they can get 20 points per robot that's in the air.
For avoiding the flood, if they're able to each successful hang is going to add 20 points to the team score and can really boost those scores. We see 1, but no 2 teams from Aqua hanging in 1 parking on the bridge for an additional 5. As the game ends, we can hear cheers from both sides as high fives go around, back and forth, little hugs from different teams. And we'll get the score for you in a moment. And with a score of 101 to 132, congratulations to Team Hydro Turkey, Namibia, and Armenia.
Booth now, we've got Ahmet Goshan. He's the mentor of Team Turkey, doing a great job here so far with his team. He's the STEM coordinator at Urfa STEM Center, which has educated over 1 million people, and he's also developed a new project called STEM for Girls. I'm very eager to hear about STEM for Girls. How did that evolve?
In Şanlıurfa, it is in the south of Turkey. We started 3 years ago a STEM center project for the students in Turkey. Actually, it was a local project just for a few schools. Then, you know, with the enthusiasm of the teachers and the students, it turned into a national one. And while doing this project, we just found, some problems. We just checked all the countries. The girls were not represented in STEM. It was just for men, like always. So we tried to focus on more girls, and we tried to include them in our project for about 1 year. Now we have special courses for girls in southeast of Turkey, where the girls' school enrollment is lower than the men. So we are trying to have girls in the fields of coding, engineering, and many areas that girls do not attend. But, the good thing is that we are very successful. Now we have many girls in our classes in schools. This year we are going to start a program for 2,000 schools.
Fantastic.
Mainly for girls. And it is actually it is a newbie. It is just, it's our main agenda, but we believe that in 2 years we are going to integrate STEM for Girls project into 2,000 schools in our region and all national program. We hope so.
And your work has been as inspirational as it's been effective. You keep on fighting the good fight. We're immensely proud of you here at First Global, and we look forward to seeing the future.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. The next team that we're going to be taking you to is Croatia.
Team Turkey.
Türkiye Cumhuriyeti.
Şanlıurfa, it is in the south of Turkey. We started 3 years ago a STEM center project for the students in Turkey. Actually, it was a local project just